Peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel. We will do a little bit of mixing to obtain our color number 4. We're running a little bit low, so we need to mix some before we run out. What I did, this is a custom blend. What I used to mix this color is a little bit of burnt sienna. Not much, but a little bit of burnt sienna, a slight bit of flush O2, burnt umber, a little bit of primary red, a little bit of yellow ochre, and a small amount of, excuse me, ultramarine blue. Now, the amount that I used pretty much was equal amounts of all of them. If the color was a little bit off from what this one looked like, I added maybe a lighter blue to it, or I added a lighter yellow, depending on what it was. As you can see, the color is almost exactly the same. Now, when we add our satin glaze, which has is white, okay, we shake this up and we mix it kind of like a figure 8. You mix it, figure it like this, okay, and I put some in, okay. And remember I said that by this being a white color, it tends to kind of lighten, things up a little bit, okay. So we added a little bit of that. We're going to stir this around. As you can see, the colors are coming very close together. When you're mixing, unless you write down the exact amounts that you're using, the color may never be exactly the same. So I'm adding a little bit more. I'm adding a little bit more of the satin glaze. Okay. And then I'm going to add my water mixture. My water mixture is distilled water as well as the wetting drop. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And I'm going to put some of my Liquitex matte gel. The Liquitex I use pretty much with, actually really with everything. So I do need to get some more because I use it regularly. Now, you can get brown with mixing red, yellow, and blue. Just red, yellow, and blue. You can get brown, but it depends on how much you mix in there and what shade of brown you would like. I did it this way because I wanted to have some of that ochre, the yellow ochre in here. Okay, so now you see we're coming almost exactly the same. Okay, almost exactly the same. And actually, it may be exactly the same because I didn't stir this one again. This one I'm stirring over and over. So um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit on a paper towel to see if it's almost the same as the brown, the four that we have here. Now it may be a little bit darker because I haven't added as much water yet. Okay. But as you can see, it's coming very, very close to that color. Okay. So now what I have to do is I'm going to cover this up because we're just about where we want to be. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my water mixture, more of my water mixture. This is distilled water and the wetting drops. I have to mix some more of this as well. Um, I just keep it in that small container so that I can have it readily available when I'm painting, as opposed to it being in a large container. Pretty much exact. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit more of the Liquitex. I don't want to get any brown in the Liquitex, but okay, good. I definitely have to get some more because I am running low on the Liquitex, and that is something I don't want to run out of. I probably will get a larger container because it comes in one, I think twice that size. So I may do that. I think that's all the Liquitex that I need to use right now. And the Liquitex just kind of thickens it up so it's not so watery. Okay. And I'm pushing it up on the sides, trying to make sure everything is mixed in. Everything is mixed in. When you are seeking to create a color or duplicate a color, you have to use color theory to understand what colors can be combined to get a particular color that you like. Red, yellow, and blue, nothing can create those colors. Those are primary colors. But they can create in different quantities, varying quantities, basically every other color that there is. Okay, and depending on what type of yellow you use, or what type of red, or what type of blue, that can determine the color that you get. That's why I said I started with this blue, and it was a little bit darker than I wanted it to be. So I just went in with this blue, and that lightened it up a little bit. So when you're mixing, understanding a little bit about color theory helps. You can always go on Google and Google what colors make this, that, or the other, and it will tell you. Excuse me. There are some YouTube videos where there are people who are well versed in color theory, and they go into it. Now I'm going to show you the color again. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the brush off just a little bit in my distilled water here. Because remember, I said I didn't stir this one. I've been stirring that one. Okay. But I am going along with the color. And you can see from the paper towel, it looks pretty much the same. Okay. So we can see the color is almost identical. Okay. I may need to lighten this up just a little bit more. Okay. Just a slight pinch more. However, you can most definitely see that it's almost identical to the number 4. I will put a little bit more of the satin glazing gel. This is helps to slow dry the acrylics, so it gives you more time to work with whatever it is that you're working with. And when you read on the instructions with this, it says you can use almost however much you would like in the product, and with when you make your colors, when you're mixing it. Okay, so now we got it a little bit lighter, and we will see. Now I'm going to add a little bit more water because it's a little bit thick. I need to mix some more, but that's fine. It's not a problem. The Liquitex nicely thickens it up. And the satin glaze, along with the wetting agent and the distilled water, balances it out and gives a nice consistency. So I do believe that we are at the color that we need. I'm just going to put this again here. And you see, we're at the color that we want. You see? See, we're at the color that we want. So that is the custom blend number 4 that I mix for the skin tones that I like. So here we are with that. So we've mixed the number 4, and we mixed in the other video the eyelid purple. So I do hope this has been helpful and that you will be able to play around with colors and mix some yourself and see what it is that you like. I have fun mixing colors and kind of coming up with different colors that I like. Um, it's fun, it's fun to me. Um, so you know that's one of the reasons I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So, like, comment, subscribe. Ooh, my 4 is upside down. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Tune back in really soon. Peace and blessings.